Now, the High Court has ruled that an emergency ban on puberty blockers imposed by the previous government to stop teenagers being given this medicine was lawful.
That's right. Health Secretary Wes Streeting said that he welcomed the court ruling, saying that children's healthcare must be evidence-led.
We're going to talk now to the human rights campaigner and activist Peter Tatchell. Peter, this was a very high-profile action by the last government. The action has been upheld by the courts and backed by the current government in the form of Wes Streeting. Do you welcome the decision of the court?
Well, the judge said that the decision was lawful. So what the judge was saying was the government had the legal right to make that decision to ban puberty blockers. It was not a judgment about whether puberty blockers were appropriate or not. In fact, the judge said that this should be a clinical decision rather than a court decision about whether puberty blockers were provided to those children who clinicians decide needed them. So it wasn't a judgment against puberty blockers, it was just a judgment that the government had the legal right to introduce the ban.
But we did have the judgment against puberty blockers, Peter, in that landmark report by Harriet Cass, a distinguished child psychologist and paediatrician, who said what was happening to children was wrong, and that puberty blockers should be banned for children, for teenage children. And she was particularly appalled that parents often hadn't even been consulted when kids were being given them.
That is not what Cass said at all. The Cass report said that the provision of puberty blockers should proceed with caution and not be either banned or provided on a generalized basis. She was saying that in her view, there wasn't enough evidence, but that is untrue. First of all, the Cass report was extraordinary. No trans people, organizations or clinicians and doctors involved in gender issues were on the advisory board. So the advisory board was undertaken without any input from trans people or doctors who deal with trans people. Now, can you imagine if there was a report on Black and ethnic minority people with no Black and ethnic minority people involved in that report? It's quite outrageous, the Cass report, the way it operated. Dr. Cass herself had no experience or knowledge or background in dealing with these issues. So I do think we have to draw a question mark over that Cass report and recognise that it did raise issues of concern, and that's perfectly valid.
Peter, it said that they should no longer be given to anyone under 18 on safety grounds. That's what she said.
Well, I think she said that should be on the basis that in normal circumstances, they should not be given to young people under 18.
And she's the ex-president of the Royal College of Paediatrics. She knows her stuff, Peter.
Yeah. Well, someone can be a part or a member of the Royal College of Paediatrics, but have no knowledge or understanding of gender dysphoria issues. And I want to repeat that she was saying that, yes, there should be no blanket provision, but she wasn't ruling out the possibility of puberty blockers in some circumstances. But she was urging caution, and that's fair enough.
Peter, we're very short in time, but tell us, why should children be allowed to have puberty blockers? What would be the benefits?
Well, we have examples of thousands of young trans people across the world who've been given puberty blockers, and clinicians, not politicians or judges, but clinicians have ruled that they are for the benefit of those young people, that they have enhanced their lives, that they have helped them overcome the stress and anxiety of gender dysphoria. So we should listen.
We've been beaten by the clock, Peter, but good to see you. Human rights campaigner activist Peter Tatchell there. We're going to bring you the latest from Southport in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.